One day, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was standing on Mount Uhud in Medina, accompanied by three of the greatest men of Islam, Abu Bakr, Umar, and Uthman radiallahu anhu. Suddenly the mountain trembled. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "O Uhud, be still, for upon you stands a prophet, a Siddiq, truthful one, and two martyrs." Years later, after the Prophet, peace be upon him, passed away, Umar radiallahu anhu could never forget those words. Throughout his life he would pray, "O Allah, grant me martyrdom, and let it be in the city of your messenger, peace be upon him." People were puzzled. How could this happen? Arabia is now at peace, and Medina is the safest city in the world. Umar radiallahu anhu would reply, "If Allah wills it, it will happen." Umar's martyrdom was no ordinary event. By the time of his death, he had built the largest empire the world had ever seen up to that point, greater than that of Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, or even the pharaohs. Tragically, today much of the world remembers him only as Umar, whereas Alexander is remembered as Alexander the Great. Even though Alexander's empire was small compared to Umar's, his record remained unmatched for about 600 years. One of Umar's great achievements was the conquest of Egypt, at the time one of the richest and most powerful regions on earth. While Muslims were focused on Egypt, the Persian king used the opportunity to regroup. He sent urgent letters to his generals warning, "If you don't rise now, Umar will end our 800-year-old empire forever." The Persians rallied for one last stand. When the news reached Medina, Umar radiallahu anhu considered sending the entire Muslim army in one massive strike. But Ali radiallahu anhu advised against it, warning that the Romans might take advantage and attack from another side. Umar accepted this advice and instead sent multiple smaller forces. Among the cities conquered was that of Hormuzan, the most powerful Persian general. The Muslims captured the city after a tough battle, but Hormuzan escaped, climbing a high building and shouting, "I have 100 arrows, and with each one I will kill a Muslim, unless you promise to take me to Umar." The Muslims agreed and sent him to Medina. Expecting a grand palace, Hormuzan was shocked to find the most powerful ruler in the world resting on the floor of a simple building. He asked for water and took a promise from Umar that he would not be killed until he drank it. He then spilled the water, saying, "I never drank it, so you can't kill me." Umar kept his word, and Hormuzan embraced Islam. Umar later made him an advisor, unaware that this same man would later play a role in his assassination. After the final Persian battle at Nahavand, the Muslims captured a skilled Persian craftsman named Feroz. Later nicknamed Abu Lulu, he became a slave of Al-Mughira ibn Shu'bah radiallahu anhu and was brought to Medina. He deeply resented the Muslims and once complained to Umar radiallahu anhu that his master demanded 2 dirhams a day from him. Umar radiallahu anhu told him that for his skills in wood and metal work, this was reasonable. Angered, Abu Lulu muttered darkly, "I will make a mill for you that the world will remember." Umar understood this as a threat, but according to Islamic law, did not arrest him on suspicion alone. Abu Lulu crafted a double-bladed dagger and coated it with deadly hemlock poison, a toxin so lethal that even a trace could kill. Before dawn one morning, he hid in the Prophet's mosque. Umar radiallahu anhu entered for Fajr prayer, as he always did, ensuring the rows were straight before starting. Suddenly, Abu Lulu rushed forward and stabbed him 6 times. Then, slashing through the crowd, he killed 9 more Muslims before being overpowered. He took his own life with the same dagger. Umar's wounds were so deep that any water or milk he drank would flow out of them. The physician told him, "O leader of the believers, remember Allah, your time is short." He ordered his debts, 86,000 dirhams, to be repaid, even though much of it had been spent on the poor. He instructed his son to ask Aisha RA for permission to be buried beside the Prophet, peace be upon him, and Abu Bakr RA, and to speak as Umar, not as the Caliph, so she would not feel obliged to agree. Aisha radiallahu anhu granted the request, saying, "I had kept this spot for myself, but today Umar is more deserving of it than me." He asked for a simple shroud with no perfume, placed his head on the ground in humility, and prayed for Allah's mercy. After ruling for 10 years and 6 months, Umar radiallahu anhu passed away, joining his 2 closest companions in the same resting place. This was not just the death of a ruler. It was the end of an era when the Muslim Ummah, once small and persecuted in Makkah, had become the greatest superpower on earth, stretching from Algeria in the west to the borders of India and China in the east.